Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll cover everything you need to know, including what FlutterFire actually is, how to add Firebase to your Flutter project, the main FlutterFire plugins you should know about, how to initialize Firebase in Flutter, and the difference between Firebase Authentication and Firestore. So, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to stay tuned for more Flutter and Firebase tutorials coming up next. Let's get started. Question number 1. What is FlutterFire? FlutterFire is a collection of official Flutter plugins that enable Flutter applications to integrate seamlessly with Firebase services such as Authentication, Firestore, Cloud Messaging, Crashlytics, Analytics, and more. These plugins act as a bridge between Flutter and native Firebase SDKs, simplifying the process of adding Firebase capabilities to cross-platform apps such as Android, iOS, web, and Mac OS. Each Firebase feature has its own plugin, for example, Firebase_auth for authentication, Cloud_Firestore for Firestore, Firebase_messaging for push notifications, and Firebase_Crashlytics for crash reporting. FlutterFire is officially maintained by the Firebase team and the developer community. It supports stable, beta and preview plugins to ensure developers can access both production-ready and experimental Firebase features. The project is open source and can be found on GitHub under Firebase or FlutterFire. In short, FlutterFire provides a unified, efficient way to incorporate Firebase's backend services into Flutter applications, allowing developers to build powerful and scalable apps more quickly and with less platform-specific complexity. Question number 2. How do you add Firebase to a Flutter project? To add Firebase to a Flutter project, developers follow a sequence of steps to connect their app with a Firebase backend using the FlutterFire CLI and Firebase_core package. Step 1. Create a Firebase project. Visit the Firebase console and click Add Project. Name your project and proceed with default settings. Once created, click the Flutter icon to configure Firebase for Flutter apps. Step 2. Install the Firebase and FlutterFire CLI before linking Flutter to Firebase. Install the required tools globally using following command: npm install -g firebase-tools. .pub global activate FlutterFire_CLI. Then log into Firebase using following command: Firebase login. Run the configuration command in your project directory, FlutterFire configure. This generates the configuration files firebase_options. Google-services.json for Android and Google service-info.plist for iOS automatically. Step 3. Add configuration files. If manually adding configurations, download the necessary files from the Firebase console. Place Google-services.json in Android/app directory. Place Google service-info.plist in the iOS directory and add it through Xcode in runner.xc workspace. Step 4. Add dependencies. In pubspec.yaml, include the Firebase core dependency. Run flutter pub get to fetch the package. Step 5. Initialize Firebase in main. Before running the app, initialize Firebase in the main method using the provided code snippet. This code ensures Firebase initializes properly before the app starts. After initialization, you can integrate other Firebase plugins such as Firebase_auth, Cloud_Firestore, Firebase_messaging and more based on your project requirements. Question number 3. What are the main FlutterFire plugins? FlutterFire provides a collection of official plugins that connect Flutter applications with different Firebase services. Each plugin corresponds to a specific Firebase product and allows mobile, web, and desktop integration. FlutterFire includes several key plugins that connect Flutter apps with Firebase services. The main one is Firebase_core, which initializes Firebase and sets up the connection between your Flutter app and Firebase. Firebase_auth provides authentication features, enabling users to sign in using email and password, Google, Facebook, Apple, and other supported providers. Cloud_Firestore lets you store and retrieve structured NoSQL data in real time using Firebase Cloud Firestore. For file uploads and downloads such as images or documents, Firebase_storage is used. To handle push notifications, background messages, and FCM tokens, the Firebase_messaging plugin is implemented. Crash and error data can be collected with Firebase_Crashlytics, allowing developers to analyze and fix issues effectively. For tracking user engagement, behavior, and app usage, the Firebase_Analytics plugin is integrated. Other additional useful plugins include Firebase_Remote_config for changing app behavior dynamically without publishing updates, Firebase_Performance for monitoring performance, Firebase_Database for working with the real-time database, and Cloud_Functions for executing serverless backend logic with Cloud Functions. Question number 4. How do you initialize Firebase in Flutter? To initialize Firebase in a Flutter app, you first need to ensure that Flutter's widget binding is set up before Firebase is used. This is essential because Firebase initialization is asynchronous and must complete before the app runs. Start by importing the necessary Firebase packages like Firebase_core, Firebase_options, etc. Next, modify your main method like this. Here, widget's Flutter binding.ensure initialized function prepares the Flutter environment for asynchronous operations. The Firebase.initialize app function establishes a connection with your Firebase project using configuration details stored in Firebase_options.dart, which is generated automatically when you set up FlutterFire's CLI. Once this is done, Firebase is successfully initialized and ready for use with other Firebase plugins such as Authentication, Firestore, and Crashlytics in your Flutter application. Question number 5. What is the difference between Firebase Authentication and Firestore? Firebase Authentication and Cloud Firestore serve distinct purposes within the Firebase ecosystem. Firebase Authentication is focused on user identity management. It handles functionalities such as user sign-in, sign-up, password recovery, and supports multiple authentication methods including email, password, phone, and social providers like Google, Facebook, and Apple. Its main goal is to securely manage user authentication and maintain their session states across the app. In contrast, Cloud Firestore is a flexible, scalable NoSQL cloud database designed for storing and syncing structured data. It organizes data into documents and collections, supports complex querying, real-time updates, offline synchronization, and multi-region replication for high availability. Firestore is used for persisting user data, application state, and enabling rich data-driven features across client devices. In summary, Firebase Authentication manages who the user is in their sign-in status, while Firestore manages what data the app stores and retrieves for these users. Authentication focuses on identity and access, whereas Firestore focuses on storing and syncing app data dynamically with powerful querying capabilities.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content.
You made it to the end, awesome. If you learned something new today, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Crafted Scripts for more practical coding guides and developer tips. Stay creative, keep coding, and I'll catch you in the next one.